We're fighting for our right, for fair pay, and protection for the drivers.
Tonight on Connecticut's news station, no love from rideshare drivers this Valentine's Day. Many are on strike. Now they're calling out their companies, demanding change.
Plus, keeping Connecticut homes warm this winter. The new funding just approved to help residents in need of assistance.
And the Michelle Troconis trial continues after a short break. The jurors today learning new details about the truck allegedly used in the crime. We'll bring you the latest.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. We begin with breaking news out of Kansas City, Missouri, where officials say at least one person is dead and several others are injured after a shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade.
The shooting sent terrified fans running for cover. Police say 2 people are detained. Kansas City police gave us an update on the incident a little over an hour ago. The police chief got emotional.
This is not Kansas City. I'm angered by what happened, but I want you to know that the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and all the law enforcement officers that were there today, that were serving and protecting, did the best that they could, and I'm so proud of them that they ran into danger, getting 2 people into custody, and at the same time rendering life-sustaining aid to those victims.
We'll continue following this story on air and online with all the latest as soon as we learn it.
Well, Connecticut rideshare drivers got out of their vehicles and into the streets today for a one-day strike to demand better pay and treatment. The
drivers joined a nationwide movement that's calling out companies like Uber and Lyft, accusing them of getting greedy and taking more of their profits. Fox 61's Matt Caron has this story.
Well, normally a traveler needing a ride from the airport can just log on to the Uber or Lyft app and request a driver. They would pick them up within minutes. But today, that wasn't the case, as most of those drivers were on the picket line.
We have to fight for each other.
No, that's not fair. That's not the United States of America. That's not the American dream.
Connecticut Uber and Lyft drivers gathered at Bradley International Airport in Windsor Locks Wednesday to call for the end of what they say is corporate greed and demand a fair wage.
The rate is going down and down. Like 6 years ago, we get paid double what we get paid now. Take in consideration the inflation rates, the gas prices, the insurance rate is high, even the cost of life.
Drivers are backed by groups like the Independent Driver Guild and the Justice for App Workers Coalition, who helped organize the Hartford strike and 9 other metropolitan area airport strikes throughout the country.
I do it full time, but I can't survive on Uber alone. The income doesn't justify it.
The drivers were not only fighting for fair pay, but also for the space to spread their message, as the Connecticut State Police squabbled with the group over their ability to remain in Bradley's waiting line.
They could tow me with my car. I'm not moving nowhere.
Eventually allowed to stay, the drivers highlighted concerns such as paying out of pocket for the rising cost of living, vehicle maintenance, and gas without any health benefits.
Gas is about anywhere from 15 to 20% of my income.
They also say companies need to do more to keep drivers safe.
Sometimes you have a nice person, beautiful, nice conversation, friendly, and some others, they got aggressive, they entitled to the right, and you are in that environment. Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen.
And they say the companies will deactivate drivers who don't deserve it.
When the rider complains, he got a free trip, and then the driver loses his job.
Uber claims drivers make an average of $33 an hour, while Lyft says their drivers make $30.68. Both companies say they allow drivers to dispute a deactivation. Here in Hartford, a bill last legislative session would have required these companies to give 85% of each fare back to their drivers, but it never made it across the finish line. Today's strike marks the first in the Hartford area since Uber was founded back in 2014. Reporting outside Bradley International Airport in Windsor Locks, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. New tonight, we're only a week into the 2024 legislative session, and Governor Ned Lamont has already signed a new bill into law.
Today, state lawmakers unanimously approved $17 million to fund home heating assistance in Connecticut.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst spoke with legislators at the Capitol today. So, Emma, where's this money coming from?
Well, Brent, Sarah, Governor Lamont signed this bill today to use leftover federal dollars from the American Rescue Plan Act to fund heating assistance for Connecticut residents, something lawmakers say is desperately needed.
There are families out there who are trying to get through the entire winter on only $180 of heating assistance.
Wednesday, both the Senate and House unanimously approved a new bill to spend $17 million on home heating assistance.
We have an obligation to ensure that Connecticut residents remain warm this winter.
Lawmakers are using unallocated money from the federal government, designating $13.5 million for LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, and $3.5 million for Operation Fuel, a nonprofit providing energy assistance support to Connecticut residents.
We're hearing lots of reports of people heating their homes with their ovens, running space heaters, and racking up major electric bills. The need out there is really great. And meanwhile, we had unspent ARPA funds that we're going to be able to provide real relief.
Both LIHEAP and Operation Fuel have seen an increase in applications. For LIHEAP specifically, a more than 8% jump from last year.
Federal funds are down from prior years, and yet our applications are up.
LIHEAP is a federally funded program administered by the state. Aid from Washington was reduced to pre-pandemic levels this year, something lawmakers on both sides of the aisle aren't happy about.
There is a precedent being set today right now, putting in state money, but that's not the way this program ever should have been working.
We had one hope, that the federal government may step up and get to a budget deal. If someone can figure out how to pass a bill down there, let us know, because it doesn't look that simple.
Some lawmakers also saying this aid should be the start of a broader conversation.
Something is better than nothing, but what we need in this area is more like $30 million.
Governor Lamont echoing lawmakers today, urging federal leaders to follow Connecticut's example of funding for heating assistance programs. Lamont also asking for more federal funding next winter. Sarah, Brent.
All right, thank you, Emma. Time for a check of the weather. The sun was back out today after yesterday's snow. Little windy, but gosh, it was good to see the sun.
When we talk about mood snow, this was mood sunshine today. TV meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rach?
Yeah, we're going to start off with mood sunshine tomorrow, but finish with mood snow as we head into tomorrow night. Not a repeat performance of what we had yesterday, not by a long shot. It's mostly very light, but it could leave some minor accumulation. Right now, we're looking at a temperature of 30 degrees, but it's the wind that you really notice, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour and adding a wind chill factor to the air. It really feels like the teens and 20s out there when you factor in that gusty breeze. Temperatures are actually in the upper 20s to around 30. And as we head through the overnight hours, we'll see temperatures tumbling back into the teens. So it is a cold start to the day tomorrow. We begin in the teens, sunny skies, then increasing clouds as we head through the midday and into the afternoon. It's not quite as blustery as it was outside today. And then heading into the evening, we'll say between 7 or 8 o'clock and around midnight, we'll start to see some of that light snow or snow showers move in. And that could leave a bit of minor accumulation on the order of a coating to maybe up towards an inch or two. Best chance for that too would likely be in the hills. And then maybe a little bit more snow over the weekend. Again, not much though. Your full forecast, we'll take a look at all of this coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A Norwich police officer and the former president of the department's Police Benevolent Association faces charges tonight for allegedly stealing money from the association. Ryan O'Connell turned himself in on Monday after an investigation into missing money stemming all the way back to January of 2022. The 16-year veteran has been placed on paid administrative leave as an internal investigation is ongoing. O'Connell was released on a promise to appear and is due in court later this month. After a short break, the Michelle Troconis trial is officially in motion again.
Today, jurors heard about the detailing of the truck allegedly used in the crime. Other testimony planned for the afternoon, however, was barred by the judge.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has those details.
We heard more arguments against motions today rather than actual testimony, but the state was able to show some new surveillance video as they continue to build their case against Michelle Troconis. May 29th, 2019, 5 days after Jennifer Farber-Dulos went missing.
That's the car wash.
Police allege Fotis Dulos and his then-girlfriend Michelle Troconis took the Toyota Tacoma to a car wash in Avon to get it detailed. The truck police say was used in the commission of the crime. The state showing video of what looks like Fotis going in, signing papers, and coming back hours later.
This one is blank. Why would that be blank?
It could be for customer don't want to give it to him or wasn't a rush.
Prosecutors say the service sheet from that day leaves out a name, lists Troconis' cell number. The vehicle is labeled as a Toyota Sienna, and they paid in cash. In an interview with police, Troconis says the two went to and from the car wash together.
It's based solely on police speculation.
Wednesday afternoon, the state planned to put the chief medical examiner on the stand to testify about his opinion of how Jennifer was killed. The defense filed a motion to suppress that testimony, saying it's all based off of hearsay and police reports.
A medical examiner cannot and could not testify based on reading an arrest warrant and looking at other court documents and rendering an opinion without having actually examined either a body or parts of a body.
The judge agreeing.
The jury has heard more than Dr. Gill could testify to. The motion's granted.
Jurors also saw this video showing a person dressed in all black riding on a bicycle away from Waveney Park the day Jennifer went missing. The person on that bike, police say, was Fotis Dulos, but its video Schoenhorn feels is irrelevant.
More importantly, nothing with regard to my client. So it's little pieces that, in my view, don't even fit together in the puzzle.
Now, the judge also granting two of the state's motions today, with one of them now allowing information from a 2023 search warrant of Troconis' phone to be released in this trial, whereas information from a 2019 search warrant had been suppressed in the past. We are in Stamford. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. Local lawmakers are urging the House of Representatives to pass an aid package to support Ukraine, Israel, and Gaza. This comes after the Senate passed the $95.3 billion package this week. Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal are calling on the House to pass that package, saying it's critical aid to allies and it protects national security.
This aid is long overdue. It is not too late, but we are at a critical moment in the fight between Russia and Ukraine. On many days, Ukraine this month has been firing 1/4 the number of artillery shells as has Russia.
The package includes money to help Ukraine with the war against Russia, as well as money for Israel, and $9 billion in humanitarian aid for Gaza.
New reaction tonight from Governor Ned Lamont on the recent suspension of the state's chief public defender, Tayshaun Bowden-Lewis. There's an investigation into her conduct.
I do care very much that we have a strong public defender's office, strong morale, making sure those folks who are least likely to get quality representation get that quality representation. And Justice Palmer is doing everything he can to make sure he looks out on behalf of those people.
Bowden-Lewis was suspended last week on the same day the union issued a vote of no confidence in her leadership. She made history when she became the state's first black woman to be appointed as Connecticut's chief public defender.